So, Carrie,
Yeah.
who are we interviewing?
Oh my gosh. I'm excited. I think I always say that, but I am always excited. Truly. Jamie Barton. Oh my God.
Barto.
Barton, mezzo.
Mezzo-soprano extraordinaire. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what else? Seriously, Jamie does everything. She can sing anything.
Anything. I love her platforms that she is very vocal about and stands up for. It's super cool. We talked a lot about that. We also talked about some stuff. Maybe I'll put it in the clip. Maybe. Surprise.
Yeah, but you know what? If you don't watch the clip, you just won't know what we talked about.
Ding, ding, ding.
So there you go. Oh, do I have to ring this again?
Well, that's if you want to subscribe and know when our videos are dropping. I mean, come on.
Please, people. Please.
Meh.
Loud. Oh. Oh, just watch the damn clip.
Thank you. Bing,
bing. We didn't even talk about opera much. See?
That's okay. I think some days it's okay. Like some days we just want to talk about, go with the flow. What are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about sex toys. I'm ready.
And that is going to be the promo for our show. Jamie Barton. Jamie Barton and sex toys coming up.
Yeah.
Jam Barto.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah. How you doing?
Wait, I can't hear you. Hold on.
I do this all the time.
Yeah, there she is. Jamie Barton, Jam Barto. Woo. Okay.
Sandra, I'm so glad you have power.
There you go, because Thanksgiving has already happened here in Canada. So we have moved on to the Christmas spirit.
Rude.
Well, listen, I actually literally put up on Facebook last night. I was like, so we're all doing Christmas early this year, right? Like,
and late. I think we need 6 months of Christmas.
I think it's genuinely a thing. I was asking because I see so many people who already have, Christmas trees up, who are already, like, I'm already listening to Christmas music. I'm like, we need this.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
I don't know if I can handle it. When I think it was Christine Gerke's got her tree and the stockings up, and I was like, what? I haven't even eaten my bird yet. I need my stuffing and my mashed potatoes and my bird. Sorry.
Oh, I've already had it.
I went ahead and ordered my Christmas tree to come after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
It will be coming at some point, but it's just adorable. I think everybody's like, we need some Christmas spirit to get through this 2020 clusterfuck.
Thank you. Shit show. Oh my
Shit show. And that means you're home for Christmas. That means you're not on the road.
Girl, where else am I?
Where else are all of us?
All of we. Yeah, exactly.
Now, I don't know if you know Carrie Alchema. Woo-hoo.
Carrie, I actually don't think that we've met before.
We met one time when Sandra and I were having dinner.
Right.
And you probably don't remember that because
where was that?
Where was that restaurant? It's right across the street from the Met. It was
Fiorello's.
What?
Was it Fiorello's?
Fiorello's.
Or Baloo. No, it was Baloo because we went for burgers and fries.
That's right. And I just came in and crashed the party for a second.
Yeah. You came in, you were like, bah! And then you were like, bah!
Jamie never does that?
Never, ever. I don't know why you would ever accuse me of something like that, ever.
Oh my God. So where are you? You're at home?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, where there's so much going on there right now. Yes, because we're having a runoff in January, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I have already gotten my mail-in ballots applied for. It's actually really cool. I think, in years past, it's so typical for Democrats to be like, woohoo, presidential, and then not show up for runoffs and stuff.
Right.
Like that. But I actually think that this year,
huge.
People are actually galvanized. I think there's a real chance we might be able to flip that Senate, which would be amazing.
Girl, I hope so. Seriously, I hope so.
Same.
Something needs to happen.
Girl.
Carrie and I were just saying, 2019 sucked balls really badly for me. And I'm just like wishing I could time travel back to 2019 now, because 2020 it's just been like beyond words.
I hear you.
Oh, yeah, like, I mean, I was just talking with friends. One of the questions on here was, it's been 8 months since I've sung. I know Sandra's been lucky enough to sing a couple things, but how has that been for you? How long have you been without work? What is that like?
I will say that I was without work until end-ish of September, mid-end of September. I managed to pick up a random one-off kind of concert, sang a filmed, like a TV filmed concert that they're going to be airing on PBS on New Year's Eve.
Cool.
Mount Vernon, which is really cool. And I actually got to sing an aria in honor of RBG because it's right after she passed. So that was completely unplanned. And I was so grateful to have it. So grateful to get to like sing, period.
What is that?
End of sentence.
Yeah, right. Period.
But that cropped up, and then I actually had 2 contracts back to back that didn't cancel. Yeah, I know the anomaly entirely.
In the States, obviously, right?
What was that?
In the States?
Yeah. My poor passport, it's felt very neglected.
Yeah, right. I know. She thinks that I divorced her at this point. It's like, what? She's like, I'm not talking to you.
Mine's gonna expire, and then we're gonna.
I literally just got a new one. Like it was, like I think the new one came in like January of this last year, because I had just gotten to the point where all the pages were full. So I was like, okay, time for a new one.
Okay, but I think the joke is I got a new one and thought, I should get the one with like the extra pages in it, just so I don't have to do that again. Joke.
Same.
Yeah, and you pay extra for people out there that don't know. You pay extra for those big passports with lots of extra pages on it.
And now we're like, we're gonna fill like 4 pages before it has to be renewed again.
Okay, come on. There's gonna be a vaccine. We are gonna get back to work. I have rose-colored glasses on. It's gonna happen.
I completely agree with you. I actually, who knows how long it's gonna take, but I believe in science, and I believe in human ingenuity and resilience and all of this, and I know I feel it in my bones that we will get back to it.
Me too. And that's the only thing, and I think if we don't have hope, no one else is going to have hope for us. We are in a category all by ourselves. I mean, singers, all of us singers, artists, all of us. So if we don't keep that support and support everyone else, then who else is going to do it for us? So
totally.
But can we be like super real and say it honestly, it changes day by day, sometimes hour by hour. Sometimes I'm like really happy and positive and practicing. And then other days I'm like, where's the chocolate and the vodka? I mean, it's just like, I don't know about you, Jamie, but I've been working since I was 15, probably 14 with babysitting and crap. And to be this long without, I mean, there's jobs coming, but I'm still waiting. Are we doing them? Are we not doing them? What's happening? So you don't know how to plan or prepare for the future. It's very strange. So that was one of our questions, though, because we have these, swings up and down. How are you dealing with if you are having the swings, at least like I am, how are you dealing with them?
Honestly, I mean, if there is, I think that there are actually several silver linings when it comes to like pandemic 2020.
Mm-hmm.
For me, one of the big ones is that because I've just been in my condo alone for 8 months, I have had a lot of time to really do some work on myself, and to really like invest in some time with my therapist, which I am so unbelievably grateful that I am privileged enough to be able to afford therapy during this time.
Cool.
But one of the things that I've really, really, been able to dive into is staying present. And that has helped me actually through those days where, and sometimes it's weeks. At one point several months of just down. And, for me, it's not necessarily, it's not about ignoring those feelings and trying to move through them. It's like a panic attack. It's like sitting in the feelings and going, okay, cool, let's breathe through this.
Right.
Acknowledge that it's happening.
Exactly. And I've learned some tools to help myself, move through them in a way that doesn't ignore them, but helps process them.
Yes.
And I think, honestly, massive bonus. I'm going to take this with me from here on out.
We talked about this. You and I had a discussion about this. I remember a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When because your career truly was like this and like that. I mean, you won the Richard Tucker Award, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like Jamie Barton everywhere.
I thought it was.
You learned how many? I'm sorry.
I thought it was the BBC that actually put you on the map.
It was several years of a couple of, like, literally it was like BBC, Tucker, Beverly Sills, Marian Anderson, like a whole bunch of awards just kind of slotted in within the span of a few years. And
cool.
And you were learning new role after, I remember we talked about that and you said, yeah, exactly. It was like from this new role to, oh, this opera written for you to, and how did you eventually deal with all that? Or did you? Or was this just now you dealing with it all?
I mean, in some ways, this is just me dealing with it now. It's been, I remember when I came to you because I really needed to talk with somebody who had been through that kind of stress, who had been through the stress of bless, as I like to call it.
It's true.
Yeah.
I like that. Stress of bless. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, like to figure out how to do it. And there isn't an answer to that. There isn't really well, this is how you do it. You can try to, handle it the best you can, but unless you give yourself the space to be able to balance that, and in this career, in the travel schedule, in the learning of music schedule, in the life schedule outside of this career, which barely gets a sliver of the pie chart, I feel like at times.
True.
There's so little time. So once again, silver lining of getting time to just really kind of focus in on it. I honestly think that the answer, though, and this is the answer that I've come to and I'm really, I'm here for, is just balance. Really, really, really actually giving myself not balance in terms of like, I'm looking from here until 2025 and where do I put in breaks? That's an element of it. Like that's not overcrowding my schedule for sure. But what am I doing today? What am I doing today to move my body, to meditate, to give myself space for myself? Because I don't know about you guys, but so often the name of the formula is like alarm goes off, roll over, pick up my phone, start scrolling through emails, or start answering social media, or and then it's just the entire day after that is that. And it's a level of stress that I don't think it actually I don't think it fosters the greatest product,
No,
in life or in career. And
no, you are on that treadmill and we get in, excuse me, we get to this place in our career where you just keep going, like the little mouse on the treadmill. And until you step off of that and look at it this way instead of that way, you don't realize exactly how stressed you are and how you're not really living life. You're just moving through it.
Well, and how your body, I don't know about you guys, but like my body manifested stress for years in different ways. I remember there was one time I was on the road for 7 months straight. And I was literally every climate between Russia in January and Cooperstown, New York in the summertime, it was just everything. And there were 4 opera gigs that were kind of back to back. And I got sick on like dress week for every single one of them. Sick to the point where it wasn't just like, oh, I don't feel well, but it was like, no, I need steroids and antibiotics to be able
I'm gonna
to do
die.
my job.
Right.
And it was kind of at that point that I sat down with my management and I was like, okay, I've hit a threshold wall, and we've got to figure out what to do with it. And luckily I have like the best team in the world to work with, and they really have done amazing things to help me every single time I've come to them and said, hey, I need to readjust my pace or something like that. But it really does, it manifests in the body. Like I ended up in the hospital last year, like, and once again, just the body will tell you.
Sure does.
But do you give yourself the time to be able to listen?
Right.
I found, what I find interesting is, over the years I've learned so many different tools on how to deal with my own stuff, through therapy and all that kind of stuff. And what's interesting is, and I know exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it, which is, I always felt, now I'm so glad I have that knowledge. And if I choose to do that, I know what the consequences are. Does that make sense? Because there's always a, yin and yang to all of it. What I found in the last month for myself, and I actually marked it on the calendar, was I don't want to numb this out. I don't want to numb what's happened to us in the last 8 months out anymore. I want to deal with it. I want to look at it. I want to see where I can actually grow within this. And it's funny that it took me this long. It took me 7 months to figure out, you know what? I don't think all that day drinking is really a good thing for you because it's every day. It's not like it's occasional, which alcohol always was for me, or food, or, it kind of just compounded itself into sugar, all these things. And I could numb it out really easily. But then I wake up in the morning, I'm on my phone, I'm reading, what's Donald Trump is doing, and I'm having a heart attack in my bed. And so you're just, and then you see what's happening in the opera world. You're happy one day because Germany was able to open up, and then the next day, oh, we're shut down. So I just, I love that mindfulness. Sitting with those feelings can be extremely difficult and painful. And so I applaud you for doing that work, because I know how hard that is. I've been there.
Like the state of grief, I think that's why it's taken all of us so long, is because we're grieving the loss of a career right now. We have worked so hard to get where we all are, and to have that just ripped out from underneath us is definitely grief. And there's different stages of it. And I think acknowledging it is the hardest one.
Well, and I think added on top of that, it's the stages of grief compounded with exactly what Carrie was saying. It was that, it's just a continuing cycle. Like, how are these gigs going to happen? Okay, well, they offered me this. Is it still going to be there? And that's just the career side. There's the grief of the stress and grief of the election cycle. I think was a major thing for so many people. The pandemic.
You were touched by that, right?
Yeah. My stepfather.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. My mother and stepfather ended up both getting COVID. And it wasn't, being from a small Southern town, and them still living there, I think the thought very often is, or the assumption is that, oh, well, they got it when they left the house. Well, the problem, the fact of the matter is that my stepfather had MS, and he was homebound. And so we think it likely came in with one of the healthcare professionals, who are doing everything in their power to stay well and stay safe. But the fact of the matter is that coming from a small Southern town, not everybody is wearing masks, not everybody is being careful. And so it ended up touching us very, very personally. My stepfather did end up passing away from it in August. My mother, thank God, is fine. She had a pretty mild case, and she's still dealing with some of the the fatigue, a little bit of confusion, just fuzzy brainedness. Right. But it was hard. It's it's no joke. And yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to you and that it hit that close to you. I have family members that are healthcare workers, and the stories that I'm hearing are horrendous, especially now that cases are now back up and the hospitals are packed with. Why aren't we hearing these? We're not hearing this to see, you know, for people to really like, it's not about your right to wear a mask. It's about all of our right to be safe and healthy and take care of one another. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you all went through that.
Our local hospital is at 100% right now. So if anybody is deathly ill, they now have to ship them to another hospital. And we live out where we are the divas in the woods. So, I mean, and people say then that this is not a real virus and this is not a real thing. I mean, I had it, Jeannie. I had it in March.
I had no idea, Sandra.
Well, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't know if it was going to be like, yeah, I know, Carrie knew. But if I didn't know if it was going to be like the Scarlet Letter. I mean, look at what we do.
Of course.
So I kept quiet about it. And, you know, Duncan is still doesn't have his appetite back. So this stuff is real. I mean, Duncan has lost 15 pounds just because he can't eat. He gets nauseous when he eats certain things. So I'm sorry, but, you know, people out there, they need to know that this is real. Wear a mask.
Absolutely. You know? And that it's, I will admit that especially in losing my stepfather, I tend to process a lot of anger and frustration with the notion that masks are in any way political.
Right.
You know, they are protective. They are protective for the people that you come in contact with, for yourself, you know. Lots of anger and frustration.
Yes. So we are not numbing out with alcohol and food. We are going to work through that so that we're healthier on the other side of it. Right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that, because I know that you have very publicly announced that you have started this getting healthy journey. Mm-hmm. I don't want to call it weight loss because you didn't say it, that it's just Jamie 2.0, getting healthy. How's that going?
Well, I will say, I guess the announcement that I did for those who may not have seen it back in, a year and a half ago, was that I was stepping away from diets entirely. And it was a huge decision that took years to come to, years of personal struggle, years of talking with a therapist, years of all sorts of things. But this was kind of coming right alongside the time when that health thing manifested in me having to be in the hospital. And all of a sudden it was no longer about like, do I want to be smaller? Do I want opera companies to cast me as Carmen? You know, do I want, you know, all of these things? Yes, yeah, on some level I do, but when it comes right down to it, am I healthy? Am I going to live?
Right.
And it was a very long few months in conversation with my therapist and with a dietitian for me to understand what they were saying was, don't diet. We've got to, you know, we learn how to hear your body, hear your body's cues in terms of what you want to eat, when you want to eat, how hungry are you, how not hungry are you, you know, like, because when it comes right down to it, I do have an eating disorder. I binge eat. And it is something that I still struggle with. I will admit that the pandemic has been hard
for everyone. Yeah,
I mean, it's been hard for everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, for people with eating disorders and also mental health issues.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be the collateral damage. You know, the fallout of this, people not being able to talk with people about all these issues.
It's been really hard to be in my house with, you know, it's basically Groundhog Day, right?
Oh my God. Yes.
Every day is Groundhog Day.
Yes.
What do you have to do? Well, I happen to love to cook. So yay on some sides, right. And then no crap. Now I have a lot of food and I'm just sitting around not doing anything.
Yes.
Not motivated to do anything. You know, depression and anxiety kind of have me in this like juggernaut of a situation of just falling back on what I have done my whole life, which is binge eat.
Right.
So there has been, I just want to highlight that I think it's normal for all of us to be struggling with whatever our fallbacks are.
Yeah.
But the walk that I started about a year and a half ago in terms of releasing diet culture from my life was just revolutionary on a massive level. All of a sudden my numbers, like the blood sugar, cholesterol, like that kind of stuff, over the course of the months after that started to actually like go down and to stabilize, which is I've got diabetes, and so that's a very important thing when it comes to a diabetic life,
right?
And hilariously enough, and I want to be very clear that this was never the point, and I am not assigning moral judgment either way, but hilariously enough, after years of me trying to diet, I lost 40 pounds.
Isn't that amazing? Like how your brain and your body connection, somehow with those tools was able to just say, oh, this is what you want. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, once again, it's the whole conversation of balance.
Absolutely.
And here I was learning how to hear my body when I was hungry or not, or what I wanted, and so when I was actually very centered in the present of that, then I found myself feeling so much better. I in a physical way, I feel so much better. And so that has been a truly revolutionary thing for me.
I love that.
You look clear, you look great. I honestly, you look happy, you look healthy, and that is the most important.
I really loved when you announced that. I wish I'd known you, because I really wanted to talk to you about it, just because of my own journey and what I learned and the tools. And I was curious to see if your tools were the similar or the same or whatever. I have like lists of questions that I ask myself, because mine is more about emotional eating. And so it's like, are you really hungry? If you're not, why? Can you name what that why is? What is that color? What is that word? What is that, all these things. And sometimes I tell her to fuck off. I don't care. I'm going to go do what I want to do.
Well, exactly. I mean, sometimes I think, once again, people, we are taught to assign a moral judgment to eating.
Right.
When eating is quite literally a process of the body that we need to do in order to live.
Yeah.
Your hunger cues, which is something that I spent years and years and years with diet culture trying to learn how to suppress. It's as natural as the impetus to breathe. And so sometimes, with emotional eating, sometimes with binging, sometimes with whatever, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The issue isn't that it happened, though.
No.
The issue becomes if you don't find your way back towards balance.
Right.
And I honestly, I think, when I hear of other people going through struggles, I'm so empathetically there with them, and I'm just like in the background, like cheering for them to find that balance, not to be perfect and not to lose weight and not to cut calories or restrict, but to really find that balance point that works well for them, because that's the healthy point, man.
And we're not taught that.
No.
So let me ask you this, because this is, what so much of our business is about, what we look like, because what we look like can decide what roles we're singing, what repertoire we're singing, which I hate more than life itself, because you have some people with lighter voices, bigger bodies, singing bigger repertoire, and then you don't hear from them after 5 years. It's ridiculous. So I don't know if you want to go down this road. We're happy not to. You can say, Carrie, shut the fuck up. We're not talking about this. But so I'm just like, stop cussing, Carrie. Okay. So I would like to know because I know this is true in the business for certain friends, about, has anybody given you a hard time or said, we're not going to hire you because of your weight? Has anybody said, I want to put in a contract that please don't gain any weight from now until when you show up to the theater?
Or you have to lose X amount of weight too.
Right, before you show up. Like, is that a real thing that you know about? That's not just rumors, or?
I know I have never experienced that particular thing. I do, however, have like firsthand knowledge of other friends having experienced that. Yes, absolutely. There are certain opera houses that have never hired me, mostly in Europe.
Okay.
because of my size. There are certain houses in the United States that won't hire me for romantic leads. Whatever that is. I actually very specifically remember a Norma happening at one house where the general director, this was before the Met one happened the first time for me, the general director told the casting director, who the casting director really wanted to put me forward for this, but the general director told them that there was no way that I was a believable ingenue. And of course Adalgisa goes on to be like one of my standard roles.
Yep.
Was that a happy moment for you? You're kind of like, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely still exists. Now, that being said, yes, it still exists. I also feel like it's changing.
Good.
I hope so.
I genuinely do. I look at something, if you look at like the Met HD kind of things, I am actually seeing more singers of size, more women singers of size, because male singers of size haven't encountered the same amount of scrutiny. But I'm seeing more of that through that kind of lens, which I think is pretty major when it comes to the opera world at large, and really, really informs the American companies in a big, big way. I want to see more.
Right.
I want to see, I have very, very strong opinions on, some roles that are so traditionally cast with only, people of this particular size. And I'm waiting for especially the larger opera houses to be a little more brave in believing that, an audience member can, suspend disbelief, or God forbid, be attracted to a larger person.
Oh, come on. I mean, seriously.
But I feel like our industry, I feel like our industry is so far behind everyone, because even television totally hasn't caught up to that. I mean, thank God for like people like Sonda Rhimes, or, is that her name? Yeah, Sonda Rhimes, Chandra. I mean, who actually, is all about everything, about not just size, but about whatever, you know what I mean? Like the whole equality across the board. But we are so far behind, even like in technology for opera, that I just wonder, like, am I actually going to see this in my lifetime? Am I going to see the rainbow on the stage? Maybe I'm a little negative right now, and I'm not like,
well, no, I mean, we have to first open the doors of the opera houses again.
Yeah, right.
And then, I mean, I don't even know if some of these opera houses can have discussions about any of this now, because they're furloughed and they're not allowed to talk.
No, but I mean, the history of it is that the board helped decide what happened. So you have these board members that are saying, no, I don't, excuse my word for fat, but they don't want a fat person, or they don't want a black person, or they don't want a gay person, whatever it is, on stage. And so then the general director had to be like, okay, well, if I need this money to pay for this, I can't hire Jamie Barton or Kiri Alcama or whatever for this role, because supposedly that board member doesn't think they're believable in that part. So I feel like the changes have to happen within that, and also having general and artistic directors that say, well, then I don't need you on my board. You know what I mean? Then we'll find money in different ways.
And the age of the boards, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Absolutely. I genuinely, this is where I think we have a little bit of hope right now, because the size discussion is just one facet of the entire issue that is representation on stage, diversity on stage.
Yeah.
I am seeing, and I'm curious if you guys have heard anything about this too, but I have been actually hearing from different opera houses who are really, really interested in getting a lot of different views, whether it be Opera Company A, who really wants to put together a diversity board that has a lot of different kind of, or maybe board as maybe artistic advisory council, that would be mainly made of artists and, people that they employ that could help guide the house. Or, Opera Company B, who is actually starting to say, okay, the requirements to be on the board are not just money. The requirements to be on the board are money and experience, where you come from. Like, there are so many valuable things that a board really could tap into.
Sure.
And this is all going along with the diversity conversation in general. And so I'm with you, Carrie. I wonder if it's going to happen in our lifetimes, but I think that right now we have the possibility of moving forward in a much more inclusive way, in a way that puts opera on stage that tells the story from different points of views than just, if I may be as bold, just to say thin white people.
Yeah. It's true.
It's true though. Come on.
I mean, Jamie, listen, you came out as gay, bisexual, gay. How would you you know what? You don't have to put a stamp on it.
Yeah, I'm bi, pan, queer. Any one of those three, I tend to identify with.
And did you run into, that was what, in like 2014, 2016, 14? Did you run into issues with the opera houses back then?
Not at all. Listen, we are in the gayborhood of arts,
right?
I mean, like in so many ways. Now,
that's a good hashtag, gayborhood of arts.
And realistically speaking, I also already had success. I am also white. There are so many things that already afforded me some privilege going forward in that. But that being said, to me, the opera industry has, it has been the industry of the queer community for so long anyway. Right. I will say that the hilarious thing was just that I did find scrutiny from some of my friends, not in the like, you're terrible, you shouldn't be bisexual kind of way, but mainly from my gay friends.
Really?
My gay girl friends, almost like without question, so many of them were like, lesbo. Seriously. They were like, yeah, you're on the bridge to lesbian. Welcome to the queer community. We'll meet you on the other side when you finally accepted that you're entirely gay. And I'm like, I promise you I'm not. Actually, you know what? Number one, I am entirely queer. My queer just happens to be that I am attracted to a myriad of genders.
Yes.
I'm not just on one side of the fence or the other. And then with my lesbian friends, actually, there was almost this kind of like, for a little while, and I will say that it dissipated after a while, but there was almost this kind of feeling of like, okay, I'm going to put you at an arm's length now because I don't trust you, because now you're kind of one of us, but you also like men and I don't like that.
Oh, interesting.
You were judged because that's weird.
Bisexuality still has, and this is one of the reasons that I'm like loud and proud about it, is that bisexuality, even within the queer community, still has a lot of representation issues. But I back to your question, no, like when it came down to the opera houses, I really didn't encounter very much at all.
Good.
Yay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, can I be super nosy?
Yeah.
Okay, are you single now?
So single. Very single.
Okay, how the hell is that going during COVID? Because some of my single friends are like, I mean, Lord, please, Jesus, sweet Jesus, like COVID needs to end. There are only so many toys, people. Only so many toys. Sorry. Girl. So I'm just like, I'm gone. Bye.
Mic drop.
I think Sandra just turned like 5 shades of purple.
You know what? Hey, listen, girl, when you're on the road, you got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
So how's that going? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Girl, I am an open book. I'm serious. Okay. No, I'll be thoroughly honest. Like up until about July, I didn't have a libido. Like when stress hits me, like when stress really hits me, that goes out the window.
Okay.
And for sure, I was thick in the middle of stress, anxiety, depression, all of it. So that plate was so full I couldn't even think that direction.
Okay.
Since then, it's gotten a lot better. I actually dated a guy for a little bit here in Atlanta.
Cool.
That did not go the direction that I was hoping that it would, but c'est la vie.
Yeah.
But it like you said, Sandra, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do.
No, but I'm actually finding that I'm really enjoying single life right now.
Okay.
Like,
but you've been in a lot since I met you. You've been in a few relationships.
A few, yeah. Well, it's not something that I advertise, but it's something I'm totally comfortable talking about. I'm polyamorous. So I tend to, if I am actually dating, I tend to date multiple people. I also have what I call my lover friends, and these people who are very, very, very dear to me, like forever friends kind of people who we also happen to have a sexual component to our relationship.
Cool.
Not that I'm seeing any of them right now during the pandemic, but but that being said, it's really wonderful to be able to text these people and still have an access to that kind of affection.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I love that.
And have some kind of discussion about it, or how you feeling, or hey, okay, so I've got a silly question for you.
Oh, wait. I just have to say, and she's going to kill me for talking about this on here, but my mother-in-law started dating during COVID, and she didn't tell us. And then, I think when she was finally ready to let us know that this was happening, my first question was, are you only dating each other? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, okay, so how safe is he? Because she, with COVID and everything, like, I don't want to lose her. So, I mean, I asked her like a tons of different questions. And then because how are you making sure, are you kissing? I did ask her that rudely, but I was like, are you doing that? Because it's COVID, how do you make this happen? So, but they're making it work, and they're having a great time in the villages.
Yeah.
The villages?
The villages where there's the highest rating of sexual diseases.
I was just going to say,
you didn't know that.
Worry more about the sexual STDs than about COVID.
Well, I did talk with her about that. Like, I hope that she was being careful. And now she's really going to disown my ass now, because we'll talk about that.
But we can always cut that now, can't we?
Yeah.
Well, my mom and her 96-year-old boyfriend, they kiss each other, and I know my mom is going to be 83 in February, and her boyfriend is 96, and they are just about the cutest.
You know what? Cheers to your mom.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers to Sondra's
He is
mom.
making spirits bright for sure.
I might have to pick my titties up and flip them over my things at 96, but I'm ready.
Carrie and I, we've already decided we were going to be in the villages, but I think we're going to have to find some other place besides villages. I don't know.
I love it.
Really? No. Okay, yeah. FYI, Jamie, like this is for real. This is the thing. Like, I've already told my mother-in-law, like, if you put in new floors, I need to see what they are, because we are all converging down in the villages when we retire.
We're retiring.
Sandra and I are going to be like, because we figured that we're not going to have our husbands by that point, we're going to outlive them, and they all know this.
Golden girl.
But, we're going to be in the villages and being like total hooers.
Okay, now I am willing to bet that the villages aren't the West Village and the East Village in New York City. Please tell me.
Oh no, it's like adult Disneyland.
In Florida.
Retirement Disneyland in Florida.
Yeah.
And you have to Google this.
Yeah, you can't live there unless you're 55 and up, and drinks are in very cheap. They have these centers of town. Like, you don't ever need to live the villages. They have everything. Like she said, it's Disney World.
And they have codes, like if your garage door is halfway up, it means you're single and you're looking, but if your garage door is all the way up, you're a player. I mean, it's a scene.
Listen, I am so here for sex positive older adults. I am so here for that.
Right?
Honey, when I'm 90 years old, my ass is still going to be that kind of like, let's go do it. Let's have fun. Like, whatever.
Yeah, we need Jane Fonda's from that show. What's that show she was in? That she has like a wrist guard, for your hand, because
her TV show with Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, and they have like specific toys for older women. Like, I'm like, listen, ladies, that's going to be our new career in retirement.
I'm here for that.
Okay.
I'm just putting that out.
Okay, we can add you too.
Yeah, you're on the list.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so I have a silly question to ask you.
Yes.
And Carrie wanted to ask it too, just because we're going to be rude.
Okay, no, don't throw my name under the bus. This is your idea. There you go.
I have never kissed a girl.
Uh-huh.
Who kisses better, guys or girls?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Or is there a one better than the other?
I mean, it's so individual. It's so individual. Because one would think that I guess on one hand, somebody might think, okay, women kiss more gently and that kind of thing, and men are more aggressive. Not necessarily the case at all. Not a single bit. And like non-binary people also completely like, in my, small sliver of experience, it's just, it's such an individual thing. I mean, I'm welcoming auditions right now if people want to like make sure they got.
I was just gonna say, it was a little segue there. Like, if you guys want to write us, we'll just send you Jam Barto there. We'll send her.
All I need is just like a good COVID test and a little quarantining, and I'm so down for this.
And you're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, all of you out there. So write us here at Screaming Divas, and
we'll get you in touch with
you're now a matchmaking company.
Well, honeys, I am single as hell, and I trust y'all's intuition. So yeah, set me up. Just set me up.
Okay, Carrie, we're gonna make a little money on the side here.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did any of you guys watch the show The Big Bang?
Yes.
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, they had like a machine where they put it up to their mouths. They're scientists, and so they made a thing where it was you could French kiss with somebody who was in another town or through another. You're on Zoom or whatever, and they made a thing where you can French kiss. And I'm like, we need one of those for COVID right now. Why hasn't somebody done that?
I mean, I can think of several, shops that would do well with having that in their stock.
Poor Jamie. Yep. Poor Jamie. Oh, seriously. We didn't really even talk about like how you got into opera, because you know what? You've spoken about that all so much, haven't you? It's like, we wanted to talk to Jamie, like Jamie, not the opposite.
Seriously, how refreshing.
Isn't it? Aren't you just tired? So tell me, if I get in all these interview requests, right? So tell me, how did you become an opera singer? There you go. Oh my gosh. Obviously you didn't do research.
Google.
What is it? JFGI? Just fucking Google it.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my God. Anytime I need a hashtag, I'm calling you. I'm going to be like, I need a hashtag for this topic. What do you think? Go.
He's the best. I mean, seriously, I've known Jamie like a while. The Norma, that was the first at the Met, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I have a question. Okay, so I know, because you're with Michael Benderchick, which means you're, we're all connected to Marilyn Horne in some way or another, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah. So I love her because she was like, I wanted them to put soprano after my name on all my contracts because I wanted to get paid the same amount as Joan or sopranos in general. So I would like to know, has Michael done that for you? And are you getting paid as much as sopranos? Because you deserve it. I mean, I don't know why there's a difference between sopranos and mezzo. Screw that.
I number one, probably not. None of us actually talk about what we make. It's such a personal conversation because it's such a negotiated thing between managements and companies. I am making plenty for myself, and I'm happy with that.
Okay.
I would not guess that I'm making as much as my soprano and tenor colleagues. But that being said, after a couple of years of having just done like some of my first title roles, fair, absolutely fair.
Wow.
If I'm singing a seconda donna kind of role,
right,
I shouldn't be getting as much as the person singing the title role. I should be paid fairly for sure, and so should they.
Yes, what I want done with is the disparity between men and women, between what the tenors are paid and what the sopranos are paid, because that's a hot damn mess, people.
Yeah.
You sing. Okay, we didn't talk about singing. I lied. I'm going to talk a little bit because I've always wanted to ask you this. You sing basically, we would say, from soup to nuts. You really do. Like most people sing, a little. You sing. I mean, we did Deborah together. We did Norma together. Then you went right after that and went and sang Fricka. And then you sang the Julia Child, and you sing Jake Hagee's music, and you even sing like jazz and pop, right?
I had a concert yesterday where I was singing Bonnie Raitt and Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
So
how do you do that?
I want to hear that.
And it's good. It's amazing. Jamie is one of those people that can do
awesome
everything and do it awesomely. So
I think the coloratura, no coloratura.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Okay, so when
I beg to differ that.
I like to go to karaoke bar. When's that happening?
What's really funny is I hate like I cannot karaoke. I get up there and I sound like an opera singer singing karaoke. I have to work really hard on specific songs. Like I was doing Angel from Montgomery yesterday, Bonnie Raitt, and I sat down and I sang through it the first couple of times and I was like, too much vibrato. Like
I sound like an opera singer.
Exactly. So I have to actually work on it. So like when I go to do, I would go to karaoke with you, number one. Yes.
Disney princess songs.
Anytime. But when I go to karaoke, I almost always exclusively keep myself to either Shaka Khan or rapping. So.
Oh, we need a video of that. We need video evidence.
That might break the internet. Just let me know, but I'm ready for it.
How do you do it? Do you think differently? Do you think different technique? Do you think when you're singing Wagner, do you think vocally different than when you're singing Jane Seymour in
Absolutely. 1000%. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you change gears?
Yeah, I don't think there's just one technique that serves everything. That would be unrealistic. You know, the reality is that like if you're talking about like musical theater technique versus opera technique, just in those two large swaths, then you're basically talking about how to condition a certain set of muscles to do what you need it to do. And the muscles that like a belter uses is different from, and it's minutia, right? I mean, it's not very much, but it's different than what we use for opera. So when it comes to me, you know, for it could be Verdi, Wagner, Donizetti, Monteverdi, choral music, theater, pop, you know, no matter what, to me, it's all about the smartest way of doing it most effectively in a way that doesn't take away from, you know, the principle. And that's what I kind of try to focus on. But I come from a really varied background, you know, coming from Georgia, doing bluegrass when I was a kid, to musical theater and choir in high school. I love choral singing. I really, really, really do.
Okay.
You know, and having a voice that literally does sing fricka, being in a choir, it was actually one of my things that I had to figure out how to do that. I had to figure out how to blend my voice, how to make it work for that particular edge of the art form. And so that puzzle of making it work, like figuring out what makes it work and if it can work, because believe me, there are definitely some things that I cannot sing for sure. But, you know, like that challenge of seeing how to do it is actually one of my favorite things. And to me, it keeps me flexible. You know, it really helps me, you know, people for the long haul, people have gotten really, really confused of even what my voice type is. And a lot of it, well, yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I really tend to see this when I do things that put me at the extremes. When we were doing like Anna Bolena, Giovanna Seymour sits really high.
Yep.
Like she's, girl, I don't sing her anymore. Like there's a good reason I don't sing her anymore. She is so much work for me. But like when people hear me do that, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh, are you a baby?
You're a soprano?
Are you a little spinto? You know, like, and then I sing Orfeo and people are like, oh, you're a contralto.
Alto, yeah.
You know, and so people hear whatever I'm singing, and the fact of the matter is that what I've done is that I've gone in and figured out how to apply my voice to this particular piece in the most effective way. Yeah. Now, sometimes that's going to leave me sounding like a contralto. Other times it's going to leave me sounding like a Brunhilde. But like the fact of the matter is that I'm a mezzo, and you know what? I'm going to toot my own horn. I happen to be really smart about what I do.
Yes, and you are.
I've got good teachers and good coaches that have taught me how to understand my own vocal pedagogy. And so that's what it comes down to.
You took the time and you did the work.
Yeah. I always find it funny because people confused. They were like, what do you mean you sing Eboli and you also sing Elisabetta? And I was like, what do you mean? I mean, I was a mezzo, turned to soprano, because the only reason why I went to soprano was because I was able to work more, because people didn't want to hire me for what I was really good for as mezzo, because I'm built with, you know, TNA. I mean, like I'm not like I'm built like a girl. I'm not built like a boy. Sorry. So nobody wanted to give me the pants roles that I really was great at the time. Does that make sense? So it was like, okay, all right, so you'll hire me for Mimi, but to me, that's the same tessitura as the other mezzo stuff I was singing. Anyway, but where was I going with that? There was a point. Sorry. Oh, it was just like nobody could understand how you could do both. I built a foundation that you could sing evenly from the top to the bottom. I just learned how to switch over differently as a soprano. But for the record, because I've sung Anna and Jane, Jane is higher than Anna. Anna is just longer. The way Anna is written. Now, you know, when you got amazing, awesome, crazy ass girls over here that can like pop out a high E flat, that's different. But Anna was written lower than Jane. So
you've had Paris on both of them.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, so it was
one props.
And well, I thought, because I'd learned Anna first, and then somebody's like, do you want to sing Jane? And I'm like, sure, I just really love the show. Yeah, I'd love to sing Jane. When I waited till the last email, because I don't know about you, but sometimes it's like, oh, you're gig. Oh, I'll put it off. I'll learn it later. And when I started learning it, I was like, oh my God, larynx in the eyeballs.
Yeah. Well, and realistically speaking, even if you're looking at something like Elisabetta and Emily, they're only a half step apart, really, tessitura-wise. Like, it's a half step. Now, that half step for me, that might as well be a mile. Like, that's a big old cavern of a half step for me. But, like, it's not that far off. You know?
No, it's not. Now, I will say, I knew that I was more soprano than mezzo because in Eboli and the trio, I don't have the power down there that most mezzos that sing that have. So the trio, I love the conductor was like this.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, it's like, I can't hear you. I'm like,
come here.
I'm on an E above middle C, and I've got a squealo tenor right next to me. There's no way you're hearing me, no matter unless I'm, I don't know, mezzos like you. So
listen, I will tell you the truth. Whenever I sing Eboli, I learned the hard way, like the getting booed on opening night kind of way. That
bullshit. I don't believe that.
I'm not even joking. That's the one and only performance I've ever been booed at. And it was a really, really hard situation. It was just, it was a really, really tough situation. It was in Germany, it was a recount. The conductor that was supposed to be there, who I loved, ended up not being there. And it was a mess. But that being said, I learned the hard way, because the first night I got to sing it all the way through was the opening night. That I know, it was everything. Is that if you gun too much in that trio, you're gonna tank by the time you get to the end of the aria.
But
I tanked.
Yeah.
Now, anytime I see, because I've seen that come on, more, give me more. The last time I was singing Eboli was actually when the pandemic went down, and I had Bob Watson as the tenor and Lucas Meacham.
Oh. Okay.
You know what I was doing?
Exactly. Oh, you're like, why?
Don't.
Nobody's gonna hear me. I'm literally at the bottom of the staff, and Lucas Meacham is next to me. Nobody's gonna hear me.
Well, with the conductor doing this, I need more sound. It was also can you please come down to the footlights? You two boys stay back there, but the girl, get your booty down to the footlights.
Those days though. Now talking about it, you're like, yeah. All right. Do we want to do some rapid fire?
Y'all do rapid fire, yay.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else, Gary, you want to ask?
Oh my God, I could talk to Jane. I could talk to you forever. There's so much to talk about.
We didn't even talk about opera. I know. We didn't even talk about opera much. See?
That's okay. I think some days it's okay. Some days we just want to talk about, go with the flow. What are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about sex toys. I'm ready.
And that is going to be the promo for our show with Jamie Barton. Jamie Barton and sex toys coming up. All right, rapid fire.
I needed the giggles today. Thanks for that, everybody.
You're going to have some semblance of nah.
Rapid fire. Best thing you've binge watched lately?
Ted Lasso on Apple Plus. It's so good.
What?
What's it called?
Ted Lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso. Yes. Oh my gosh, he's funny.
It's so good.
Okay.
And it's also so like healthy, like everything. I love me some Brene Brown, and she's actually the entire reason that I started watching it. And like, there are just so many moments in the show where I'm like, that is so healthy. Like that is messaging that I really support.
Oh, well, I want to watch that. I'm going to add that on my list.
Give me Barton's stamp of approval. Okay. What is your favorite drag queen name?
Oh Lord.
Can I give my drag queen name as my
Well,
favorite?
that was going to be part 2, but yeah, okay, your drag queen name then.
Rita Libretto.
Ooh. Now who is she?
I feel she's very like 1950s librarian, like
A little nasty. Like, is she nasty though? Librarian
with the ruler,
think,
like.
I don't think she's nasty. I think she's a little Jinx Monsoon. Like she's a little like, like your mom, like like always trying to encourage you in this direction, but kind of like she's also the drag queen that would talk about sex toys, Okay.
Read it with your purple glasses that you got.
Exactly. Or maybe the black ones with the diamonds on the side.
Oh yes. Oh, those are good. Wait, here's Carrie.
I love those.
Ooh, I love me some pink anything.
Carrie's favorite color is pink.
Love it.
Jamie's favorite color is purple, and mine is.
Okay, is that like really dyed, or is that a thing you put in there?
No, that's really dyed.
Did it damage your hair?
Girl, I damage my hair every time I blow dry it. Are you kidding me?
I love it. I think it's so awesome. I kind of wouldn't mind some hot pink in there, but I don't think I'm brave enough yet.
See,
well, do it underneath.
I was gonna say do some like low light rose gold.
Ooh.
I think it looks pretty. You know what? Why not? If not now, why not?
Yeah.
When? If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it?
Well, yeah. Very seriously speaking, actually, this is not very damaging. They put they bleach it out in order to be able to take the color.
Okay.
Have like Overtone does these really wonderful semi-permanent dyes that will stay in for a couple of weeks and then just gently wash out. So if you ever want to try a creative color, get some Overtone of the that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I actually have the rose gold in my bathroom right now.
That's really tempting. I see my hair girl on Thursday, Cher. Hey, Cher, you're awesome. And so I really, I love her. She does. I'm not naturally blonde, so this is effing amazing to me that she can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But, so I might, we might have a little conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Okay. Wait, is it my turn?
Yes.
Best piece of advice that you've been given thus far?
Oh my God.
In your life or in your career?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The first one that comes to mind is take your time. Because what we do is a marathon, not a sprint.
True.
Yeah.
That's
tortoise in the hair. That's what we always, my husband and I say. Tortoise in the hair. You choose which one you want to be, and either is an option. Okay. Where do you keep your Cardiff Singer of the World trophy? And do you carry it with you in your suit? Oh, there it is. Yay!
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That is so.
Just added this golden unicorn trophy to my case. Yeah.
I love it.
That's where they are.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. We love that. Yay!
Hilariously enough, when I moved into this condo, they had left this glass case, and I was like, great, a place to put my trophies.
Perfect. I love that.
Sharing.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Since we talked so much about our bodies and health and all that kind of stuff, is there a body part of yours that you love the most?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really love my butt. And I love my butt because it's not, I don't really have a voluptuous butt. There have been so many years where I like wish that I had like a big old juicy butt.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is tiny but mighty. I love my butt.
Tiny but mighty.
Hashtag number 425.
I have so many things I could say about that, Jamie, but you know what? My husband would just kill me. All right. So then what's the best piece of advice you would give to people in the business? The same thing?
Oh, do the work. Do the work. And that's a pretty broad stroke there, because it's sometimes it means like sit down and do the grunt work. Sometimes it means like highlight your score, translate things. And sometimes it means like give yourself the mental space to let your creative brain flow to figure out what you want to do next. The work can go in so many different directions, but a lot of times when I'm feeling like the anxiety and the depression and I'm feeling kind of locked, like I can't do anything, the best piece of advice that has gotten me through has just do the work. Take, whether it be just standing up from the chair that I'm in, and that's the first step.
Love that. I love that. Okay. Favorite cuss word. We ask everybody this. What's your favorite cuss word? Any language.
Vafanculo!
Yeah!
It's just so colorful.
It's perfect. It's beautiful. I love it.
We'll put a translation of that up there, but yeah. All right. What profession other than your own would you love to attempt?
Oh, professional cat lady for sure.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Girl. Like if I used to say a chef, and then I realized that I would never sleep if I were a chef. Like you have to be up really early and you're usually there very late.
Right.
So I've decided that if opera singing doesn't work out, I'm going to open up a cat cafe. And it's going to be a place that fosters cats until they can find their forever homes, and also has delicious beverages. So.
Oh, I love that. So you're a cat lady, and I sent you a big old picture of my big dog.
I love it. Listen, I'm an all animal kind of person. I just happen to be like in keeping an animal within my space, a cat lady.
That's sure. Cat. Perfect. All right. Last question. Okay. If heaven exists, what do you want to hear God say as you walk through the pearly gates?
Get your ass in here.
Vafanculo, get your ass in here.
You can't say Vafanculo to God. Oh my Lord. All right.
I think God can say whatever she wants to.
Yes, very much.
Thank you. Sorry. Yes, she, he, whatever can.
Yeah. And on that note, we enjoyed the giggles.
Thank you.
Very important. We have been having crapola times here the last few weeks. So to chat with you and to giggle with you has been deliciously wonderful.
Yeah.
Man, to start the day off with a smile on my face like this, that's a gift. So thank you for you.
Hey,
for this. It's so good to Carrie, so good to get to like actually meet you, not just like crash your dinner party. And then Sandra, man, it's been forever. Like it's
I know. Well, now that you don't sing all that Donizetti Bellini stuff.
Well, I do sing the Donizetti Bellini stuff. I just don't sing Giovanna.
Giovanna is done.
Are you still doing Sada?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well,
and girl, are we still on in a couple of years for another project that Verity might have written?
Yes, we are.
Fabulous.
Cannot wait. Oh, we're so silly, aren't we? We're just so silly.
I love it.
All right, but you take care of yourself, and as soon as the requests come in from all the people, the dating app, we will forward them to you.
Absolutely, no problem. We'll vet them out. Mm-hmm.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.